Hello, everyone. We're back to more Great Ace Attorney. Do we know what happened last time, Di? A lot happened. Yes. In this context, a lot of things did happen. So, who did we meet? So, Sherlock Holmes, or in this game, they call him Sherlock Holmes, but either way, we're going to be going to Great Britain on a Russian ship. So Cosmo was murdered on a ship. We're going to keep the facts the way they are. But everyone's homework from last week was, how can a murder, like, how could anyone else but me be a suspect in a supposedly locked room mystery? And your hints were given. We're on a ship. And what happens when you're riding on a ship? What do ships normally do when they're out on the water? And remember, the lock was just a bolt. January 9th, SS Furia, first class cabin passageway. This is part 3, right? Is this part 3? I think this is the second part of the investigation. This would be part 4 of the stream. Yeah. This would be part 2 of the investigation. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we managed to find some clue as to what that speckled band might be. We already know what this speckled band is. Sadly. We didn't manage to investigate it all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh yes, he's completely disappeared. When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrist. Alright, let's go ahead and examine. I really wish we had a chance to look around and miss Pavlovia's cabin. What? Why you look like that? You want something? Hmm? Maybe you want me to throw you out again, hmm? Oh, no, definitely not that. Next time I have to throw you out, I show you where lobsters spend winter. Understand? Understand? Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face. I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Nadahuda-san. Yeah, I'm not rereading it. That door leads to the second class area. It's locked. I can't open it. No, well, that stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape. Gosh, she gave me a very stern look when she said that. Alright. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. Anyway, I wonder if Inspector Hasanaga has managed to uncover any new clues. Yes, we should probably find him and ask. It looks like they're still investigating in here. Yes, on that subject, I wonder if Inspector Hasanaga is unscathed. What do you mean unscathed? Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Nadahuda-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. Where Cosmo spent his final moments writing his diary. 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Looking at his writing here on this page, it's almost impossible to believe that he's gone. Kazuma-sama left us a valuable clue in these words. I'm sure of it. We have to solve this mystery, Nadahuda-san. We will. Ah, you're back. Inspector, what happened to you? Your face is... Please, don't worry about it. They're just scratches. Well, you're missing a lens on one side of your frame, and you have a shiner over that eye, and you wiped the wrong side of your face. Made by a bear, maybe? When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fist and then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing really. It looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yes, so I understand. Oh? I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Airlock Dome. I don't think he was German though. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. But Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh. Do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? I think you're a little too excited, Hasnaga. Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case, at least. I would not say, for sure. Oh, how? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? This one technically did. Now I've definitely upset him. Inspector, has your investigation in here proved fruitful? If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed. Ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. Ah, there's one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh, what? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. What is this new information you have, Inspector? This. Iberia's medical officers finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report? Kazuma-sama? So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report. His neck was broken? Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Oh, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet. The fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility. No obvious wound would be left. Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of their report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. I've After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Ah, so we have a post-mortem report. Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he? Yes, he seems to be enjoying himself a little too much, as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now you mention it, yes, just one thing. But he practically shouted, "It's shoe polish," was all he said. So that black mark that we saw on the floor there must be shoe polish, I guess. Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass, do you see? Ah, perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think? Ah, yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know that it's shoe polish? Well, shoe polish actually comes in two different colors. Actually, it comes in black and brown. And depending on the color of your shoe, you would usually get the polish for that color of shoe. Now they do have clear shine, but that's usually with a sponge, and that's just to do in between shining. That's not the whole buffering stuff. That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is this, Sasato-san? Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. Dark tan? A sort of dark brownish red then. So the browns do come in various different colors, but I've only ever seen two. And to be honest with you, I doubt the color of brown would really matter unless you got a darker shade. Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him. Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as they scuffed on the floor? Mark on the floor has been entered into the court record. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best, thank you. Poor Inspector. You look exhausted. Oh, no. Well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect the Stogi-san. It was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friend. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. A heavy head? That's interesting. Was he drugged then? My head's still throbbing too. No. That... Actually, I think I know what that is. Because if you're on sea, if you're on a sea for a long amount of time, and you're not used to being on the ship, it could induce seasickness. But I think that's what they're experiencing. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin, neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh yes, and you tidied them up, didn't you? You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabin leads to damage. But it really wasn't me who knocked them over. Anyway, I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy. That's your other hint right there, is whatever caused the bolt to lock also caused those books to fall over. Yo, where did you go? Oh, sorry, I just went to the next door cabin. Why? Who gave you permission for this? Well, I mean, Seaman Hasanaga did. I knew Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him into a ball and throw him in cold room. Phew. He's gone back to guarding the door. I hope Inspector Hasanaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for steak in La Carnival. That could be a very long time from now, Naruhodo-san. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Furia. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. So by bringing her pet aboard, Ms. Pavlova has broken the rules. She called it her friend, didn't she? Yes, although we don't know what form this friend takes as yet. I'm almost certain that whatever it is inside the traveling case in her cabin. Friend. There's more to this than it seems, I think. So this ventilator joins to Miss Pavlova's cabin. Yes, that's right. And just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. The speckled band, as he described it. If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it, but she seemed as baffled as we are. Because I don't think she's ever heard the term speckled band. Yes, I wonder if she's telling us everything though. I'm not sure. I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but there was something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. So it's clear that these letters were written with the ink that was somehow spilt on the floor, and they spelled the Russian word for wardrobe. It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruhodo-san, as you were sleeping in there. But to be truly unambiguous, it should have just spelled out my name, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words or word in Russian, which begs the question of who did write it. I think we're done here. Ninth of January, SS Syria, first class cabin passageway. Ah! Look, Naruhodo-san. Demon Stroganoff has gone. Strong enough? The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us. Oh, all these Russian names are impossible to remember. La la la. Did you hear that? Sounded like someone singing. La la la, la, I did it the great detective way. This caroling. I know that lark-like voice. Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's go inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can and investigate. Definitely. Before that, Stringy Knot crewman comes back. It's Stroganoff, not Stringy Knot. I think he did that intentionally, Sasato. Alright. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Sasato-san. Oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. There's not a moment to waste, Naruhodo-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right, for Kazuma's sake. Not just for Kazuma-sama. What do you mean? It can't be long now until we arrive at port in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Really? We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san. By ourselves if we have to. Yes, we will. Ah yes, they're displayed in this cabin too. Look, the SS Syria's rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabin. Pets are also strictly forbidden. I suppose Miss Pavlova realized that she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret after she read this. Her special friend, I mean. I wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. She's probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. I just hope Demon Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard. Oh, yes, so do I. All the books have toppled over together. Look, every single one. Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. Exactly the same as the bookcase next door, in Kazuma's cabin. Perhaps Ms. Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase. I think there's a simpler explanation than that, because not everybody has to knock over bookcases. I think whatever happened here also happened over there. I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage. Not everything bad that happens on this ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight up. frustrating and too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. Oh my! Miss Pavlova's case is open. It's completely empty inside. According to the great detective's great deduction, it was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the Suspiria. Wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And more to the point, where is it now? There are just a few books on the desk. Nothing else by the looks of it. Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. That's true. I wonder what kind of books she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlova enjoys reading books written in Russian. Thanks, I think I probably already knew that. It's rude to ask too much of people, Naruhodo-san. Kindly remember that. I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket. Shall we have a little look and see what's been thrown away? Naruhodo-san. It's poor etiquette to go sifting through someone's rubbish, you know. Oh, those eyes. He's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. However, these are special circumstances, I think. Exactly, we have no choice. There's hardly anything in here at all. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. It would seem this teapot is empty. And so the natural conclusion is that the Russians are a very thirsty people, or she doesn't drink tea at all, possibly. Or because Miss Pavlova only came into this cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet. Or that. I mean, it could be either. It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I lay 1,000 to 1 on it. I think you're gonna lose, Ritsuke. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruhodo-san? Naruhodo-san, are you there? Sorry, I'm right here, yes? Why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to come inside every wardrobe I see, you know. Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. There's one of these next to the bed in Kazuma's cabin, too. Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist. She barely hesitated there, and she gave it a good tug, too. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret. So this ventilator connects to Kazuma's cabin next door. Yes, although what a fool of a shipbuilder must be must be to open a ventilator into another room. Ah, maybe it's so that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Cosmo wrote that he saw a speckled fan coming out of this ventilator. This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door had. The bolt's drawn across. There's no way anybody could enter the cabin from outside. Yes, it's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across of its own accord, would it? Would it? No, and the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt it from the other side. I think there's a logic they're missing here. Maybe. So what logic are they missing, Di? Or are you still not sure yet? And it seals up perfectly too, to stop any seawater coming in. I think that was generally the purpose. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through a crack around the closed door either. I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. Starting to see why they suspect me. Alright. Or I've covered all my bases. There's nothing else to search. I wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor. Yes, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. Unlike it was put there deliberately. Do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here? Why would she use a saucer? You'd normally put a bucket there. What? A leak? Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a little leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is going to sink. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? Alright, I think that's everything now. Not entirely sure if there's anything. I suppose. Miss Pavlova's cabin. This could be our chance. What? The burly sailor doesn't appear to be around at the moment. We could investigate every last inch of that cabin. I'm not sure if we would go that far. We could certainly do with looking around more. I'm sure we could learn something. Did I miss something in that cabin? Actually, I missed this guy. Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes. Look. Wow, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. Oh, la la, leery, leery, lay. I did it the great detective way. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or is he simply in extreme high spirits? Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all was doubt. Lucky Sherlock was about. Excuse me. I solved it all, and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! Ah! What is it? You want to fight? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climatic finish. I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is as good a time as any. Well, I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now, could you put those fists away? Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in studying of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily-built crewman who's usually on guard here. Oh, yes, the ship's log. And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries were blank. Which means that there was nothing to report, nothing of note happened, so... You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages and all shall be clear. It would seem the same crewman oft stands sentry in this first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes? Nothing to report? Precisely. But simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there's just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean? Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribbling nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. Okay, we're doing that. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Ah, you're starting to understand why my way is, I see, what makes Holmes a brilliant. Oh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning. For some reason, nothing more. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Susato-san? I seem lost in thought. It's just, well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. Sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? Let's see if something changed. Oh. Ah! What's that? Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile forward. Full stop. Hard to starboard. All hands brace for impact. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Susato-san, hold on to me. Ah! Susato-san, are you all right? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruto-san. Looks like we avoided a collision. Dai, what do you see that's different? Two things happened. So, when the ship tilted, the books got knocked over and the bolt locked. I think we just erased our locked room mystery, don't you think? I think, yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness! What about you, Naruto-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Oh, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like Inspector Hasanaga. Is that you in there, Naruto-san? Unbolt the door, quickly! What, the bolt? Look at that! The door's bolted! Did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. Naruto-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? I'd better tidy this place up first. A violent emergency stop had solved one mystery, at least in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. We're not stopping here. I think we're going to continue. Somehow the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Susato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. You! What you are doing in Miss Pavlova's corridor? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. The person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crew are running everywhere. This first-class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm. Does that mean someone pressed that button outside? Ah, you wicked intruder! Dressed all in black, you are the devil. Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is a first. You opened my traveling case. How could you? No, we didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector! Yes? Arrest this man. I know he did it. He is a criminal. It is not enough that he killed a man. Ah, and he is stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Take him away. He is a trespasser as well as everything else. Stowing away, trespassing, killing. He is right. You are devil. Doesn't look good, does it? There is cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hasanaga. Is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. We've got to find a solution. Immediately. Need to keep calm and focus on the task at hand. Just investigate. Don't touch my thing. You want me to show you where crawfish hibernate? Hiya! Mr. Narahudo, what do you think you're doing? Wow, everyone's attacking me. And I was just starting to think she was my friend. Anyone who can help me out of this mess. He can. What the? What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholm! Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feel like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and foul. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. Ah, you again. The great detective. Ah, Inspector. I confess, I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on a wall next time. What is to report? Speak. An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes, the case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Beret, has been solved. By me, naturally. What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to this case. Ha! You have solved it? Even Hedgehog understands this case. I don't think Sonic is on this ship. Sorry. We all knew who was responsible for killing Student Boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. It is this stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because, as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Ah, locked room. That is point. The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You are all quite mistaken. Cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there is another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why? It gapes open mouth at you even as we speak. A ventilator, man. A ventilator? You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible. Ah, but it is. Last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean? Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I'm about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your core. Behold. What the? And there's your speckled band. Allow me to introduce you all to the band, the speckled band. A snake? Indubitably. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Hmm? Yes, you're right. I think in this case, you'd have to call it the striped band, wouldn't you? You both see and observe with distinction. However, do you not think that is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? My goodness, really? It's a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it is time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the fact. Number one, last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. Ah! And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No! He's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Holmes might be right. He's hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Sogi? It looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Ready to dance, Die? Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet, you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is the very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas, regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give Prey? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Ah, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, That which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's cloth skin. Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin, no? I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Hey, Phoenix. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake whose markings change each time it lost its skin. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. Moving on, we came to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life? And why? According to the date of which I have been appraised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. According to the data of which I have obtained, there were not appears to be. It would appear there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost, but not quite, imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There's no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't. It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. Train? Indeed. You'd put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you'd summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training? Not true. Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the truth of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of the speckled band. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. That promises of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible! You solved the mystery. Amazing. Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Sherlock Holmes has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. I'm sorry, what? It was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Don't they have one left hand? Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course, what's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Ah. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Now, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Ah. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal to a snake by whistling. Wait a minute. Do snakes have ears? The nope rope. Snakes do not have external ears or eardrums. Instead, they possess internal inner ear structures that connect to their jawbone. This allows them to hear by sensing ground vibrations and airborne sound, which are transmitted through their jaws directly to their brain. They are most sensitive to low frequency noise ranging from 50 to 1,000 hertz. For context, the human hearing typically spans from 20 to 20,000 hertz. So there would be no way that a snake would be able to hear that whistle. But madam, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? Well, you have to understand the frequency of what a flute gives off. I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movement. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears? These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There is one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder. Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruto. Oh no, you don't mean. Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruto. Yes, right. So, cast your eyes down to your wrist again. What? You've done it again. Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not. I shall see they're restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Ms. Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. She does have a pained expression on her face. Yes, that's true. It looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly, is that it? Would there be some other way to interpret her expression then? Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. Please. Okay. So, does she not have a cat? Does she not have a snake as a pet? Alright, so we're going to do that. Yeah, you see the scratch.
Yes!
Yes. When you recall those horrid events, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, and simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Ms. Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch? Sometime last night? Ah. When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without a doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. It seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Narahudo-san. That's where we'll find the answer. Hey, Alley Bird. Okay. Do you see it die? Yeah. Ah, look at the photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. She's exceptionally beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true. But personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that's caught my eye. Maybe we'd better take a closer look at this. Look at the little cat Miss Pavlova is cuddling there. Oh, what a cute little kitten. It could vie with you, couldn't it, Narahudo-san? For the blackest outfit. A black kitten. And from the look of this picture, at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it.
Yes!
Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh, no! The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ah! Tarka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Tarka would appear to be a Russian blue. And yet, the fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observation on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give prey? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's soft skin. Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If she just left it in her pocket, no one would have known. Oh yes, toys like that are Mr. Shelm's specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced her to reveal something. I thought deductions was his specialty, or maybe making me believe that was a toy too. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that the skin of a snake. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? Okay. Okay. That's not. Well, I think we're going to... Well, it is speckled and it is a band, but what is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy, a long piece of cloth of some sort. And that looks like a handle at one end. I think it may be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently. How is that a toy for cats? Cats like to chase a band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love this sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them and they pounce to catch it. Aha! That seems positively adorable.
Yes!
Yes, the thing you're trying but failing to conceal is a cat's toy. Precisely, and the true nature of the now infamous speckled band. Ah! And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Ah! In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. Yeah! A truly troublesome feline, young Darka is proving to be. You must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova. So, if she's got a Russian blue, their hair is so long. They're not extremely big cats, but their coats are thick. It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Darka, she is so naughty. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter. The grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. Ah! In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. What Mr. Sholmes says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body. That's right, but Mr. Sholmes seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now. You know what evidence to present, right, Zai? You know which evidence to present, right? Well, we're not going to do the photo. I think we're going to be doing this one.
Yes!
In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the postmortem report. Ah, yes. I knew it was one or the other. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Even Stroganoff isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found, though. Presumably, Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. I suppose it's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Ah yes, a bad fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe a Kazuma-sama, though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? I think I know what it is, but... Because remember, we saw a similar scene happen. Let's see. University collar pin, paper seal, crime scene photograph, article about revolutionary, Kazuma's diary, article about ballerina, post-mortem report, mark on the floor, ship's log, Pavlova and Darka photograph. So let's see here. We did find out that what this is, though. Do you remember what this is? That might be a cat bell right there. But that mark that's right there, that's shoe shine. Which means Cosma fell.
Yes!
Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye are my result, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Asogi's lace leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Please, no. And by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor, suffering a fatal blow to the spine. The victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant he lost his life. No! I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right, you hid the evidence that links to you in the victim's death in this traveling case. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened. But, and if this part of Mr. Sholm's deduction is right, Ms. Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eye. Where, I wonder? Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. Let's see. This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps all the first-class cabins have them. But Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably, there's not much rubbish in there yet. Oh, what's that? It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? Yes, it is. And I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you.
Yes!
That's right, you hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that waste paper basket. Ah! Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely, we found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asogi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no. So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin? Ah! You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? I don't know. Is that hush Russian accent of yours won't... I don't know, and that hush Russian accent of yours won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruto. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell, that would be... Well, we just got it during the dance of devotion, during the debate, attack. So we're talking about this photo right here.
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from darkest color, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Darka. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Was that fun, Dai? Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hand. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast. She disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it. Yes. And I had read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet, I was sure. Someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, you thought it's safe to try to lure the kitten back again by dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin. Darka always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. The faint whistling sound, Kazuma wrote, about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. Then... I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out and then, oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Kazuma was. From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seemed likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass, fell, and tripping up. The SS Buria is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterward? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case. And now she's disappeared again. Gracious, that cat is as insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it? Where did it come from? What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board this ship? Apparently it's Stroganoff's pet. Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is Perusko. What? What? That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when the emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend? Without someone who understands? Didn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear burly fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake? Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. Oh, venom. Brusco does not have venom. He is harmless, very long, but very gentle. He is adorable like Bryony. It's venomless? Yes, now he is hungry, so he is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Like they say, they milk chickens? Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Brusco eats mouses. Eats fat, round mouses. So is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for? Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord, and it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. My Pedrusco is nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Everyone's stunned. Miss Pavlova, I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But what are you talking about, Miss Mikitoba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident. I'm now a great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess. I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh? I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Ah, not again. When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrists as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yes. Cosimo was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom even. In that case, you must follow this to its conclusion. No further distraction. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident, or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Cosmo's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present evidence. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. Alright, Di. What evidence do we have? There's one red flag in this whole entire thing that was not discussed in the photo of his body.
Yes.
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That script, it's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry? What do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Which means after the victim fell on the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything because he was already dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? So Sasato-san has noticed it too then. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words, Bell photo?
Yes.
This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know all about that. It was broken in half and the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw, a fatal flaw. What? If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back in here in this cabin? Ah. Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh, no. Both of these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Ah! Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi.
Hold it!
You're wasting time. Someone else was there? Ah, of course. We know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Oh, yeah. And only other person in cabin when young student died was you.
Yes!
It's true I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asogi really died. But why would this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder then that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you? Seaman Stroganoff. Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills. She went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal. Ah, so that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. That is not possible. I give my tooth. Well, this is almost interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You are a great detective. You should know. Look, truth in eye. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Well, you want to tell me that killers can walk through locked doors? Nah, it's impossible. He's right. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside. Misato, even you're the one that said that that was not even possible. Red? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern ship. Constructed of heavy steel, with not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruto suggested it earlier, so... Sato-san, how could you shift it in onto me like that? So, seeming Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruto, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside? One way does spring to mind, yes? What's that, Dai? We figured this out already. You really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruto? Yes, and so should you, because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. But would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruto? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside. You know?
Yes!
Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe, yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia acting on the object. Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book? At least, well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah! It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like Inspector Hasanaga. Oh yes, that's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed, or the force of inertia, if you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Astogi was killed, SS Berna made another emergency stop? When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. Yep, smart lock system, yep. And I stood them up again, didn't I? Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Asogi's cabin. Oh my! Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Beria made emergency stop? Doesn't seem a little far-fetched. It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone in the engine room? Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only to press the button in times of emergency. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Wait, it was you? When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholmes? Surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed. Whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. Now, I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. The vessel makes an emergency stop. The bolts on the cabin door slide closed. So, what we must now consider... Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did this ship make an emergency stop or did it not? You are an idiot. Fire is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop even in middle of night, there would be chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruto? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruto? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night? We know this one, Dai. The only evidence we have that has anything to do with the ship. The diary? No, we're not that one. This diary.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff. It's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship, isn't that right? Ah, that is correct. Why? And the ship's log here? This would be where you record the details of your duties? What are you doing with that? That is mine. Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift brew in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return it to you later. I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always. Point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances you write the phrase nothing to report every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log? That is, stop, because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Well, indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Furia. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night? Stop talking rubbish! If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh, why? Oh, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed? That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. What of the throbbing? Sorry, what do you mean? Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it. Huh. Oh, yes. I have had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. That's right, my head's been throbbing today too. Since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had these handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all this was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruto. You boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes, sorry. Stowaway class of accommodations doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Cosmo looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Cosmo wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right. He didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh? Mr. Shones, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? I do. No. Really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. Sleeping drug? Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? Mr. Nadahudo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. What? Mr. Sholmes? Well, Seaman? Eh? I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And for that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade. Please, no war. I will tell everything. I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Yes, but when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me. We all agreed to help, everyone together. We threw away everything, for fame in the ballet, or the Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. We could not make all drugs. How do you say, dissolve? Talk about heavy seasoning. Midnight in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. He was helped by a comrade on shore with a small fishing boat. While all the passengers of the Esapira slept soundly, thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So if that's what happened, the only people awake on this ship last night were the crew people who disliked chicken and the newly board passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabin. After which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite, and accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes. The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway. And so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. You have talked long time and said many things. What is point? The point is, what I said earlier. There was somebody else present in the scene, and the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But I don't know about any of this. I am just a little girl. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am Sailor. Sailors don't listen to long, boring stories. We don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. What? I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruto. Oh, yes? Do you hear it? The accusatory cry of guilt on the wind? What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes. For observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about? I believe the time has come for one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. Are we ready, die? So, Mr. Naruto, your assistant, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow, just as I said, of these two previous characters. Observation? If you remember, Mr. Naruto, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, didn't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Usagi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. Precisely. You're delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So, we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. I think we see it, don't we, Dai?
Yes!
Demon Stroganoff. You seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Eh? Oh yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from. So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain. What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. A very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform. And I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruto, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then, the evidence that proves what the stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform really is. Well, Hmm? I think this is the answer, don't you think, Di? Russian word for wardrobe in purple ink.
Yes!
Yes, it's this photograph and the ink it shows. That's what caused a stain on your uniform. Ink? A rather unusual color of ink, purple. Ugh! Ah, the penny dropped at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way, which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilled. All right, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in dead student's cabin to make it look like wardrobe man did it. Then I pressed button to make fire do emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel. If please. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageways, and our angel came to me. He was white like sheet. If please, you must help me. I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw a student boy on floor. What happened here? Please, don't tell anyone. My little one, my little furry friend. Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator and into Mr. Asogi's cabin. Then he tripped over and broke his neck when he fell to the floor. Yes, that is right. So after the incident went, the cat ran away. Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling on floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked, so she opened to look, and you already know what happened after. There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Stogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Hi. I already told you! When Nina opened doors to student's cabin, and looked inside, I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? Ah. Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark. He was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you. So is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last? Ah, something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events. A kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural. What do you mean unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well, the Kazuma tripped and fell by some terrible stroke of bad luck, broke his neck. Which part of this photograph print seems unnatural? Alright, what seems unnatural, Dai? And I don't think we've examined it quite yet. And I see it. And and what you need to think about is how reflexes work. So if he tripped and fell, would that fist be opened or closed? Open.
Yes!
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fish just doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say. As though he were gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray tell, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us, please. Why, of course, my dear madam. Would I keep you in suspense? This is what I found. A crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle? Yes, you're right. Crescent moon. Very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing. I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That is the key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe, find the answer with your own eyes. Do you see it die?
Yes!
Miss Pavlova, on your ear there. I see you have a crescent moon as well. Ah! What? And on your other ear? There seems to be a crescent moon missing. The little link holding it on must have broken, I suppose. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruto? Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asogi must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear, perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night, Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asogi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moment? Oh no. Angel? No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth last night. What did you do to Kazuma? I think in this situation, I'm going to go on an assumption that Kazuma was trying to help her find the cat. Hey! When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. Then I was at last in this cabin. I could relax after this horrible long day. Sokka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Darka would not come back. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. The young man from your country. He was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. Then, when I had my friend in my arms again, I was going to leave the man's cabin. Just a moment. Sorry, but... Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina. Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina? Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing on this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see. So you've run away. Please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? And it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait, I shouted, and then Darka jumped out of my arms and down at the young man's feet. And as he turned around to look at me, I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. And that's when you went to fetch help from Seaman Stroganoff, who was on duty out in the passageway. I hear Nina cry out and thud on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door shaking like leaves. She looked at me and said, "Tell me, Beth. If I find out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go." So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Cosmo's cabin to make it look like I did it, so that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. I went into cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Stowaway in wardrobe, still sleeping. Right, that's when he found me. So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway. I closed wardrobe doors and put back train paper signs. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Sasato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged young man's body to a good place, ink that was spilling to right on floor. I wrote, "Up," so that person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find stowaway. And tell me, what of the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. See, but it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin and I finished the job. By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway? Yes. Accordingly, the SS Baronet did indeed come to an emergency halt a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said that you told Cosmo about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. It's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? But even if you had pulled the bell cord and called the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member on the crew? Why would that have been a problem? It was what he said first that made me scared. What he said first? What are you doing here at the time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. Said an inspector. Is his friend. Oh, yes, meaning me. Who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard? Thought if police knew about me, They would arrest me. So before he could pull the cord, May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the lapel cord? I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Nadahudo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain, but he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Nadahudo, today's work is not yet done, it seems. There's one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Yes. What action was the victim really about to take at that moment? Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still, that cabin had been my home for this entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night, when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama? Yes, it's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Nadahudo? Yes, there's one thing I've learned today. It's that a simple gaze can reveal all manner of truth. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So, when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Cosmo looking at? Well, what was he looking at? There's the bell cord, or was he looking at the wardrobe? Because I think the obvious answer...
Take that!
Consider everything that had happened last night. Certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring that bell cord. Yes, however, what is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe. Wardrobe? More importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend sleeping soundly. Ah! Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night? Give me a moment. I could use another opinion. Another opinion. Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. You see, between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh no! Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had. Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did. That will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really. So sorry. What have I done? He came up on his own. And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Syria was finally laid to rest. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. You are a menace. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Stones can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return to the future, I doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. Let's see. Sorry. You mean Stroganoff? I want you to help her, Angel. No matter what. But I didn't think about you. About how you lost good friends. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Cosmo's death feels like such a waste. But, well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Ah. Oh, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes, I did stow away after all. Couldn't really expect any different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. Looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it even begun then. To think that only days ago Cosmo and I were laughing together about how we'd tear up the streets of London. Seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Sasato-san. Naruhito-san. I didn't know you had returned. Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hasanaga just told me I should pack. Ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. Still believe this has happened. can't believe someone's life can be over. Just like that. Usado-san. He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away. Just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. Now we know the truth. That it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruto-san. Just too much. Yes, I know. Wish there was something I could say. Inspector, my duty was to see Asogi-san safely to Great Britain. I failed. It caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. Let everyone down. And I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now, at least. Huh? Surprise, Mr. Naruto! What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that, in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? So, I decided to restore them, for old time's sake. Shall we say, you are a stowaway after all. He thinks this is funny. Mr. Sholmes? We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all. Not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences? The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. I have to return to Japan, make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was a stowaway. The terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice, both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. No, I don't care for me, but for Susato-san. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer and the study tour can continue surely. But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes. Miss Sato? Yes? Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? Ah! But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruto. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before we reach England shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Netherhudo? Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must know, what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Mr. Netherhudo, that's ridiculous. Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if, by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? Cosmo. He said there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. Can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Mr. Sato? I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, it's madness. Yet fascinating, would you agree? Fascinating? Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector. You'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next. How best to make my report. Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Netherhudo? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer? I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all. Thank you. And Mr. Netherhudo, I'd like you to take charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Cosmo-sama would have wanted. His name is Kirima. Great sword. It's been in the Asogi clan for generations. Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it always. So then, Mr. Sato, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It will be an honor, Mr. Naruhito. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Yes, that's exactly what I need. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too. Goodness, what is it? Please throw me to the ground. 3 times. What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would have never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. No matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away. And the cabin door was locked from the inside. No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you, and not just once, but 5 times. Ah, the number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take a hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it. No, I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhito. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed. What did he see? When did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling? Oh, well, in a way, it's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jiu-jitsu technique. Apparently, it's called the Shisato takedown. It leaves your head swimming, believe me. I'll be willing. I am a practitioner of the combat arts myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw. Yes, I'd be honored. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. Oh, of course. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhito? Sorry? Yeah! As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Ah, yes, arresting indeed. And that is what you term the Shisato takedown, is it? Actually, no, that was a Shisato splash. In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Cosma flicked into my mind. Karuma. That's right. A prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. The Japanese man's sword is his soul, Rinosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling on that subject. There's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing he had to do. Still don't know what that was. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. Great Britain's capital, London. Crash Course Candidate awarded. So the next episode is The Adventure of the Runaway Room. That sounds exciting, doesn't it? Alright, Di. Did you have fun? I shouldn't have. Alright. I don't know why I didn't click on anything that would show it. HDMI 2. Oh. There we are. He bugging me again. Alright, you wouldn't believe, I may have already told you this, but I played all that on the RTX 3050, but my streaming setup is all on the 1050 Ti. And we had a fairly clean stream last night. So this setup is actually working. Although tomorrow's stream, I'm still working on trying to get that fixed, because for some reason Game Maker is not showing up unless I do the desktop like I did with Resident Evil Requiem. But the problem is that I have to force it in full screen, and I don't really want to do that. So because what will happen is that if I force it in full screen, it already goes into the file select screen. So I don't really want to do that. But we'll start a new case next Monday. Tomorrow we're going to do more of Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link Enhanced PC Edition. And then Leo takes over for the rest of the week. Except for on Friday, hopefully you and Kara does the sim. So I think I'm going to look for a raid target. Alright. I'm going to go here. Who are we going to raid? Vita? I think we're going to raid DM tonight. He's doing Final Fantasy VI. Alright, so if you're on YouTube, give DM a like and a subscribe. If you're on Twitch, give him a follow. And we are out.